Miss Himeno, likely one of the most favorited characters in Chainsaw Man Season 1, and I mean, what's not to love?
That smile. That damn smile.
She wears a tight suit, has an eye patch, friends with Kobeni, is a sexual predator, tried to R-word Dennis. Okay, listen, it's 2013, so let's ignore our problems and satiate our desires for the good timeline. What if Miss Himeno didn't fucking die? If you enjoy Chainsaw Man, then my friends, you are in the right place. So get subscribed and drop a like on the video to let me know you want more Chainsaw Man What If content. So, it's been a minute since many of us have seen Miss Himeno. She is part of Tokyo Public Safety HQ as a devil hunter. She has a strong connection to Aki, who it's very clearly she has some sort of feelings for. So for her goal is basically to get closer to Aki while also helping Digi get closer to Miss Makima. And her death is shockingly sudden. When Katana Man and Sawatari randomly attack the diner they're eating in. Himeno basically ends up sacrificing her life to protect Aki, which ultimately she does succeed and in turn saved many of her comrades from the terrorist attack, so to speak. So my idea for this what if is to create a scenario in which Himeno survives and to see the effects of that decision. So let's get into it. As Katana Man and Sawatari launch their attack against public safety in the diner after Katana Man shows the picture of his father, who Denji took part in killing in episodes 1, immediately seeing him pulls out an M1911. Denji is shot in the head as Himeno is shot by Katana Man as Power is able to uppercut him. This leads to Aki using his contracted devil to attack Katana Man, destroying a major portion of the diner. As the dust clears, they see that Denji is out due to being, well, shot in the head as well. Himeno surviving the attack is met with a massive gunshot wound in her chest. Aki orders Power to stop Himeno's bleeding, but instead of her doing it right away, Power drags Denji to Himeno, where Power does the unthinkable. She strips Himeno of her shirt and uses it as a way to stop her bleeding, while also draining the blood into Denji's mouth when she can. Denji, much like Power or any other fiend or devil, is allowed to heal if they drink human blood, while also giving them a power boost. Power, this time, not being violently stupid, is able to allow Denji to heal much faster, bringing him back to peak fighting condition in a fraction of the time that it actually took. This is important because it allows Denji to return to the fight, allowing both Aki and Denji to be evenly matched against Sawatari and Katana Man. While this happens, Power must attend to Himeno the entire battle, as her chest injury is bad enough to where she could bleed out. So Aki begins his battle with Katana Man, and at first they seemed well matched until Aki uses his curse to try and finish the fight, which he is successful in doing. The devil grabs onto Katana Man, trapping it within its ribcage and chowing down on some, well, fresh meat. Immediately, Aki calls to Power, who is treating Denji and Himeno. She relays the information that Himeno needs medical attention fast due to her gunshot wound from Katana Man. Aki's first priority is to get Himeno the treatment she needs, but just as quickly, Akane Sawatari reveals herself to Aki and revives Katana Man, something which shocks everyone as Aki pretty much just killed him with this attack, and now he's back on his feet. So, Sawatari orders Katana Man to resume his attacks against Aki, slashing him across the chest as he is now defeated. Himeno, seeing this, immediately is concerned with Aki, but her condition worsens as she is now coughing up blood profusely. But as Himeno goes to suggest using her ghost and giving up her entire body to save Aki, Denji, fresh off drinking Himeno's blood, launches into the fray, not really knowing what he is doing since he is still suffering from brain damage, but still, they're just enough to pull off some really wicked stupid shit.
This party's getting crazy. Let's rock.
Denji, remembering that Katana Man pulled a gun on him, assumes he and the girl in the salmon hoodie is responsible for this, clashes with Katana Man. Aki, still slashed across the chest and bleeding, sees Denji fighting, and the two then engage in a 2-on-1 fight against Katana Man. While the battle is somewhat short-lived as Aki is profusely bleeding, so Aki uses his contracted devil just one more time.
Do it again.
Tells Denji to duck, which Katana Man is then hit by the full force of Aki's fox spirit. Still, even after the attack, Katana Man is able to fight his way out of the cursed spirit and get back up and continue fighting. Aki's attempt to take out Katana Man didn't work.
Hey, we are bullshit.
but it did gain them some valuable time to prepare their next plan. The fight then continues on for some time, leading to Denji ultimately being cut in half by Katana Man after an intense back and forth. As the fight seems to have stopped with Katana Man as the victor, Himeno, seeing that Aki and Denji are in danger, does the one thing that she can do to save them.
Here we go again.
She calls upon her contracted devil, Ghost, and in turn, for sacrificing her entire body, Ghost will eliminate Katana Man and Sawatari and save them all. However, just as she is beginning to finish telling the contracted devil to do just that, suddenly everyone stops moving, dead in their tracks, not able to speak, move, or make any action. This is because the fight went on just long enough for Makima, who was executed on the train, to revive herself and control everyone else to stop moving, while also eliminating all the humans who were working with Katana Man and Sawatari. The precious seconds saved by Power dragging Denji to Himeno to drink some of her blood allowed Denji to recover faster and not change the outcome of the fight, but prolong it just enough to allow Makima to revive herself and stop Katana Man and Sawatari literally in their tracks. So, what exactly does this change about the outcome of the story? Well, this still allows Sawatari and Katana Man to get away, as their escape route is virtually unchanged, as they're the only two left of their team to get in the van and drive away. This is because Arai still dies, which leads Kobeni to appear on the scene to drive them away from the battle after Makima releases her control ability. So we do still get the blowjob devil saying the day. However, for what happens after, well, the changes are pretty massive. Of course, this would lead to Himeno's survival, but not without sacrifice. Himeno, due to severe blood loss, is inside the hospital recovering, much like Aki, but is left within a coma. This would lead to Aki wanting revenge against Sawatari and Katana Man, but as well the Gun Devil for what they did to Himeno, Arai, and generally everything else they've done so far. This is a huge motivation for Aki, as here he starts to realize how much Himeno cares for him and vice versa. In other words, nearly losing Himeno and now possibly facing her death, he has to realize a thing or two about the nature of their relationship. This would put immense stress on Aki to achieve more and more in the series, bringing him down a much darker path. Something more akin to like a Guts character who simply wants revenge, and that revenge is what drives him to achieve great things, but takes a toll on him and his body as he wants it at all costs, even if that means, losing his life. Frankly, I also would have Himeno remain unconscious for a very long time as well, as she needs to be removed from the story to allow Aki to develop his dark persona. But when she finally does wake up, fully healed from her injuries and coma, I would have Himeno pretty much immediately ask for Aki or to go to him as soon as she possibly can. There, Himeno would reveal to Aki her true reasons for staying with him over all of these years, because she feels indebted to Aki for saving her life all those years prior, and in turn tells him a massive truth. She is here to recruit Aki for a secret organization adjacent to public safety. What this organization is, I have no clue, because as of yet, it's not been revealed. However, I still would have Aki decide in this scenario to not join Himeno, but instead have Aki too far gone down this path of revenge, forgetting altogether what he was fighting for in the first place. And Himeno, while alive, still needs to be avenged in his eyes because he cares so deeply about Himeno. So Himeno agrees to go along with this plan, joining Aki on his path of revenge because, well, in this moment, she reveals her love to Aki and doesn't want to be separated from him. This is the one time that Himeno could ditch her duties for her own cause, because in this moment, he is more important than her own mission. And what happens from there, well, I won't say because it would, spoil future events in the anime, and that's, not what I'm here to do. Another addition of Himeno's survival is, of course, some changes to Denji in the story. The promise Denji and Himeno made the morning after their, as Himeno puts it, Denji being a gentleman to her, they both would try to help each other get what they want, which is, well, mega laid. This would instead lead down a path that would lead to massive reveals for Makima and Aki's character along the way, but as well Denji's first honest-to-God friend along with Power. I imagine Himeno and Denji would get along quite well and confide in in each other more than you'd probably think. After all, they are basically trying to relay information back to each other about the men and women they love the most. So in my opinion, there would be no way they wouldn't be very close just based on that merit alone. So Denji would eventually get his desire to go out on a date with Makima with the help of Miss Himeno, and Himeno would get mega fucking laid by Aki in return. This would allow us to get to know Aki and Makima much more, I think, too. Denji will start to understand that Makima is just very strange and mysterious, ultimately just really going further along with Makima's plan as he is a dog to her. And that's pretty much in character for Denji. However, we learned so much more about Aki, more of his past, more about his motivations, and generally speaking, we see a totally different side of him, one where we'd even see him react to Himeno's romantic advances, which that's different and new, so I'm all here for it. All in all though, Himeno's death wouldn't lead to the craziest changes, but would allow us to delve into different perspectives of the story, like romance, which will mainly be just between Aki and Himeno. I can't imagine Denji has a romantic bone in his body, to be honest. However, Aki and Himeno's chemistry would be off the charts. These two characters quite literally complement each other, and I think it would be a joy to see them interact in that way. However, this would also develop the plotline of Himeno's real reason for staying close to Aki as a sort of a bit of a side plot. It would be much akin to, I think, to the basement in Attack on Titan. It would just be this thing floating around, waiting for its big reveal, which Himeno would eventually reveal to Aki what it is, but it would still likely be something we don't really truly get to experience until much further down the road. In general though, Himeno's survival would see a massive fleshing out of Aki and Himeno to be a massive part of this series. I even think it would overshadow the main plot as well, because their story would be so compelling and multifaceted, taking on the themes of love, revenge, secret organizations, and even revealing more about Makima through Denji and stuff like that. Simply put, I think Fujimoto made the right call to kill Himeno. While I myself am a huge Himeno fan and I would find her extremely useful in a desert with no water, I think her death is pretty much perfect and even better than the events I proposed here. Not that I don't want her to live, but by not killing Himeno, Fujimoto would run into several issues of, well, the supporting cast becoming way more interesting than the main cast. And to be honest, I quite like Dennis. Who? So Himeno is a sacrifice I am willing to make. So let me know what you guys think. How do you think Himeno's survival would change Chainsaw Man, and how would you go about doing it? Also, recommend other what if Chainsaw Man ideas in the comments below. Real quick, I want to mention something. I did this video as an experiment for Chainsaw Man content on this channel, and I'm really passionate for this series. As my second channel, Bento, I cover exclusively the newest chapter of Chainsaw Man once they drop. So I'm pretty hyped for this series. So if the video idea fails for this channel, which it very well could, then at least for the ones who like Chainsaw Man will know that I do run this second channel for Chainsaw Man content only. Also, I want to give a shout out to Perf and Adoraburb, who are both massive forces in this idea coming to fruition. So thanks guys, and check them both out. Perf is an artist who is desperately trying to get out of his literal third world country, so all of his commissions go to helping him do such a thing. As well, Adoraburb on the other hand has a webtoon called The Raven Black Court. Both are pretty cool, so please go and check out their shit, or else I'm gonna judo chop you in the throat. Financially support the channel by becoming a patron to gain access to my mega One Piece arc reviews. Thanks for watching, bye bye.